This video is going to talk about the atomic number and atomic mass, and also how you can find those on the periodic table. So, just as a review, the structure of atoms. Each atom consists of 3 parts, or subatomic particles, which are protons, the positives that are inside the nucleus, neutrons, or neutrals, so no charge, that are also found inside the nucleus, and then electrons, which are negatively charged and they surround the nucleus. So those are the electron cloud, and they kind of float around the nucleus. And if you recall, the subatomic particle that identifies an element or tells you what element the atom is the protons, so the positively charged. Right, so we're going to place each one of these colors into each of the atom particles. All right, so protons are found in the nucleus. They have an atomic mass of 1, and they are positively charged. Neutrons are neutral or have no charge. They are found in the nucleus, and neutrons also have a mass of 1. Now the electrons are found outside of the nucleus. They have a negative charge, and they are 1/22,000th the mass of a proton, but we're just going to refer to it as 0. All right, the periodic table. You guys will have the reference sheet to use daily that has a periodic table on it. The periodic table shows all the different atoms and elements that are on Earth. And remember that an atom is the basic unit of a chemical element. So you have gold atoms, helium atoms, lithium atoms, stuff like that. They're the very basics. They make up everything. So when you look at a periodic table, if you look at each individual box, it will tell you all about that atom. So this nitrogen, the element name, it has it underneath the symbol. The symbol is the big letter or 2 letters in each box. That's kind of just shorthand for what that is. So nitrogen symbol is N. The number of protons, or the atomic number, is at the top of the box. It's 7, so that means that nitrogen has 7 positive subatomic particles. And then the mass number is always at the bottom, and that is just the protons and neutrons added together. So if it's 14 and 7 of them are protons, that means 7 of them are also neutrons. And we'll learn how to calculate that later on. This is just what one box can tell you right away. So, atomic number, as I mentioned, it's always at the top of the element box. It can be in the corner or it could be right in the middle. It shows the number of protons and electrons. So, an easy way to remember is APE. A equals P equals E. So the atomic number at the top is equal to or the same as the number of protons in that element, as well as the number of electrons in that element. So we have for nitrogen, the atomic number is 7. We have 7 positively charged particles and 7 negatively charged particles. So this is just a little practice. It's given each element box, and you have to match the element to this Bohr model. So number 1, it's telling us right here that there's 1 proton in the nucleus and 1 electron surrounding it. So that would have to be hydrogen. Hydrogen is 1. Number 2, it's showing us that there are 7 protons, and we count 7 electrons around it, which means it has to be nitrogen because its atomic number is 7. Number 3, it's telling us that we have 8 protons, and we count 8 electrons, so that has to be oxygen because the atomic number is 8. And then number 4, it is telling us there's 5 protons, and we can count 5 electrons surrounding it, so that is boron because the atomic number is 5. All right, so calculating atomic mass. Remember, the atomic mass is the number that is at the bottom. In 8th grade, we use whole numbers because it is a lot easier to calculate. So, as I mentioned, atomic mass is located at the bottom of the element box. It shows the mass of the protons and the neutrons inside of the nucleus. So remember, protons and neutrons both equal 1, and electrons don't weigh anything. So it's only going to be protons and neutrons. A way to calculate that is man, M-A-N. So man means you take the mass, so the bottom number rounded, and you subtract the atomic number at the top, and that gives you the number of neutrons. So you take the bottom number, subtract the top, and it gives you neutrons. Here's a little bit of practice right here. The first box, we would round the atomic mass to 32. We would take the mass, subtract the atomic number, and that would give you 16. So you have 16 protons, 16 electrons, and 16 neutrons. Remember that the P and the E will always be the same because you have the same number of protons and electrons. So like lithium right here, there's 3. We're going to take the atomic number, that is protons. So lithium has 3 protons, 3 electrons, and then we would find the neutrons. We take this bottom number, round it up, so it's 7. 7 minus 3 gives you 4. So as you can see, a lot of the times they will be the same number, but sometimes they will not. So you just have to do the math. So for carbon, the atomic number is 6, which means the protons are 6, the electrons are 6. We round the mass to 12, minus 6, and that gives us 6 neutrons. I'm going to hop down to argon. Argon, the atomic number is 18. That means there are 18 protons and 18 electrons. And then for neutrons, we're going to take the mass and round it to 40. 40 minus 18 is 22, and that is our number of neutrons.